It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I mean that's my rant about teaching my son, and I'll look forward to addressing your comments and some questions here from you guys in a moment. But I also wanted to tell you about an excellent book that I picked up very recently. I actually, this is a brand new book by a very talented artist called Manuel Guzman from New York, and he produced this book via a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo. It's called In Search of Sacha, and I was fortunate enough to find out about this when he first launched the campaign, and I backed this. So I got one of the first copies off the press, and my name is in the list of supporters in the back. So that was quite gratifying to see that in there. And it's an excellent book. So I want to show you some of the artworks from this and tell you a little bit about it, because I just read it to my son, and it's an awesome story about these really cool parents. Let me show you. Called Amar and Alicia. And they have special powers. She controls the wind with her sword, and he controls the earth with his bow staff. And they can fly, and they can sense just about everything. They're basically, super beings, like angelic kind of figures. They're searching for their son, and they help a few people along the way. But their son is on this very frightening and troubling descent into basically a personal hell. He falls into this sort of dark space beneath the earth. I won't show you every page, but I will show you some of the artworks as JPEGs, so you can see them a bit better than you would on the screen there. And it's a much longer story than I thought it would be. Because of the format, I was imagining it being just few words and mostly based in the artwork. But it's actually it's like a novella in some ways. Some of the texts are quite long, and it's a very detailed story. But it shows these parents going on their own journey to rescue their son, but their son going on this journey to find his own strength within himself and to battle the forces of darkness and of entropy and of evil, and to shine his light. And Manuel is a Christian, and it's obvious in the writing itself, but it's made completely clear at the end when he finishes the book with a quote from the book of Mark, which says, from Mark 5:36, it says, "Do not be afraid, only believe." That's the only biblical reference he has in there. But it's a beautiful story of the coming of age of a boy who is apart from his parents for the first time, and fighting the struggle of his life against the forces of evil. There's a lot of biblical symbolism in here, and you could. I mean, I know I'm going to read that many times with my son. But it was really, really enjoyable. I started to read it with my 4-year-old, not really knowing what the text would be like or what most of the artworks would be like. I'd only seen the preview art on the crowdfund campaign, and I got about 3 pages in, and I was like, there's too many words, and it's a little dark for my 4-year-old. So I closed it up, and I was like, we'll read that again when you're older. But it was just perfect for my 8-year-old son. So I would recommend it for 7 and up. A mature 7-year-old will get a lot out of it. I think it's spot on for an 8 or 9-year-old boy. And it's an excellent coming of age journey with combat directly against forces of darkness and evil. So I highly recommend this book if you are looking for something to do in the next few months, if you're stuck at home for a significant period of time and you need some more books to read with your children. This is an excellent one, and you can find it at that URL, In Search of Sacha. I'm not getting any kickbacks from this. I just wanted to share it with you because it's a great piece of art that I have been lucky enough to be a financial part of at the beginning and to support that product being created, and I wanted to make sure that you guys know about it now that it's out there in the world. Here are some of the artworks. So that's Amar and Alicia. Here's a Delta gentleman bringing his buckets of apples home, but he gets attacked by devil monkeys. There's lots of really cool creatures. But here he is being rescued. Look at those devil monkeys fly. Alicia is using the power of the wind produced by her katana. It's pretty cool. just watching my son's face as we read this, watching his eyes light up at particularly at the musculature of the father, and then seeing the boy come into his power, then inspired a lot of physical play on the part of my son, as you can imagine. This is another one of the characters who's embroiled in the sort of spreading darkness. And here's Sacha talking to the creatures of the forest. He is a very pure light. He's almost like a Christ child in some ways, the way he's portrayed in the story, is that he has a pure, perfect kind of love that emerges from him. And it's parts of it remind me, I don't know if it was intentional, but they remind me of the idea of the crucifixion and the resurrection of Christ, parallels to the resurrection, which I suppose all the great stories from the Western Christian canon have, don't they? And here he is, beginning his resurrection, flaming fists ready to battle a giant serpent. And back to the start there. And it's got a really well-made website too, which is insearchofsacha.com. Here it is. I'm so impressed with the quality of this website and the animations that you can witness. This guy knows what he's doing. Manuel knows what he's doing, and I'm hoping that he and I will collaborate on something soon. I might actually be engaging him to be involved in the production of the final elements, or the final polish at least, of the artwork for Logos Rising. I'm in discussions with Manuel about that at the moment. We'll see if the timing and the budget align. If we can raise the total amount of funds that I'm after, I would love to work with Manuel on getting this cover art perfected. My wife and my mother are working on developing the characters, the images, the icons. We're not going to use those ones there that are on the screen, but they're examples from real illuminated manuscripts from the medieval period. But we'll create our new characters that are relevant to the songs and tell the story of the album in a visual way, and we'll arrange them in a coherent, unified storyline on the image. And then once I've got those elements, then it's going to be somebody like Manuel, if not Manuel himself, who I'll need to bring the whole thing together and create that beautiful painted, backlit, vibrant color sort of look that I'm going for. So hoping to work with Manuel, and that'll be really good if we can. And he's a lovely guy. So Lolo's Art is his website, lolosart.com. You can see the other projects he's done.